Mark Henkel is with us. He is a national polygamy advocate, founder of truthbearer.org, which I assume is I'm sorry, Mark, I haven't had a chance to get over and look at your website today. It's been one of those just insane days. But I'm assuming that this is a website that is devoted to promoting the polygamy message?
Well, you can reach me at nationalpolygamyadvocate.com. And yes, I am the founder of the truthbearer.org organization.
Oh, I see.
You can reach me at nationalpolygamyadvocate.com.
Okay, got it. So now, speaking anthropologically, I understand in a society as biblical societies were, Bronze Age societies, 2,000-3,000 years ago, in areas where you have limited resources and constant warfare over those resources, and typically it's the men who are engaging in warfare, and so you end up with 2 or 3 women for every man simply because the men are being killed in battle or killed from infections that are the consequence of scratches and whatnot incurred in battle. In that context, polygamy makes sense. But when you look at polygamy as practiced in 50-50 societies where there's equal numbers of men and women, you have this tragic situation in Utah, in Arizona, in northern Mexico, for example, among the polygamous Mormon communities, where when young boys reach 13, 14, 15, 16, typically 16 to 18 years old, where they're old enough to compete with the older men for the girls of their age, and old enough that they're not going to draw the ire of Child Protective Services, they get driven into town and just dumped. You know, this lost boy phenomena, because how can one man have 3 wives if 2 other guys don't have any wives at all? Hello?
Are you a person who believes and would conduct yourself according to the religious paradigms of isolated Mormon sects? Would you believe that mainstream America across the country would conduct themselves based on the paradigms of ancient behavior? Of course not. These are irrelevant examples to use when we're talking about allowing unrelated consenting adults making a choice of polygamy across mainstream America based on people making their own consenting adult choices. You cannot use the example of cults, and especially of criminal cults, and say that represents what normal, everyday Americans across the country making a free choice would do. So you cannot use that as...
Okay, well let's define some terms here then, Mark. And your tone kind of implies that you think that I'm trying to have a fight with you. I'm genuinely not. Okay. I'm not opposed at all to polyamory. In fact, I have a friend who's in a polyamorous relationship. There's 2 men and 2 women, and they all live in a house together, and they all, at various times, it seems, sleep with each other, and they have this, basically very, very tight relationship, and have for 25 years. I mean, this goes back to these people split off from a commune once. I get that, but that seems different than my understanding of polygamy. Maybe I'm misunderstanding it. My understanding of polygamy is that... Okay, go for it.
I would like to help you. Your response and the way you described that about your favoring polyamory is... I'm sure I would be correct in agreeing that you likely oppose things such as homophobia as a concept for speech, given what I've understood about you. And what you are doing is no different than polygophobia, in that you are using irrelevant anecdotes to compare to normal society, and then saying, well, I know a pair of people that choose to want to have same-sex marriage, so I'm really not homophobic. And it's the same thing. What you're doing is you're still saying, well, I know a polyamorous, but I'm not really polygophobic. What you're really doing is betraying your own belief system by doing that. So let me educate you about unrelated consenting adults across normal mainstream America making a freedom of choice.
Well, actually, the one argument that I brought to this, that was an argument, not a fear, and I don't think is a bigotry, was this was the story of the Lost Boys. I mean, I've got an article.
I would be happy to address that.
Okay.
The story of the Lost Boys has nothing to do with polygamy. It has to do with a limited totalitarian authority of decision-making leaders in an isolated rogue sect, where then you have a limited set of individuals and you have a leadership top-down deciding who gets to marry whom.
Okay.
In a normal Western mainstream regular secular society, there is no such top-down decision-making as to who gets to marry whom. So that's why you cannot compare the examples of a very limited population sect where the cultic control of...
Okay, so how does polygamy work for you?
Unrelated consenting adults making a choice. It is a pro-woman's choice position because today's woman is not stupid. Today's woman knows how to make her own choices. Remember that...
Well, are you suggesting that polygamous relationships are always one man and multiple women? What about multiple men and one woman?
There are a rarity of people that choose that, but the fact that few people choose that is only because of what people are making for their own individual choices. But that doesn't mean that it's not something that does happen. It's a rarity.
Right.
It's always ironic to me that individuals who somehow think that one man with 2-3 women is somehow this great mighty dictator over a number of women, but then simultaneously will turn around and say, well, we've got to make sure that it equals the opposite and you can have one woman with multiple men. Well, if one man can supposedly dominate multiple women, how on earth do you think it's going to be for one woman being dominated by
Well,
many
I'm not
So
suggesting or advocating for either. I'm trying to understand this. First of all, are you suggesting that our marriage laws are two people, right? A man and a woman, a man and a man, and a woman, depending on the state. But basically, they're all monogamous laws. Are you suggesting that the way polygamy should work is you have a primary wife and then other people who are part of the relationship who don't have the legal benefits of marriage? Or are you suggesting that our marriage laws should be changed and our inheritance laws and everything else so that multiple people can participate in one marriage contract, as it were? Well,
I believe that ultimately government has no authority in the licensing, redefining, or controlling of the contractual arrangements of consenting adults.
But they do, because most of this has to do with tax law.
Please let me make my point. And that is in the same way that people who opposed same-sex marriage said that it's supposed to be opposite-sex couples, and those who supported same-sex marriage said that's just an arbitrary determinant to use gender as an arbitrary determinant. Well, the truth is, the same position that said opposite-sex couples were being bigoted by having this arbitrary determinant of gender, the very same people now supporting same-sex marriage are being every bit as bigoted using the arbitrary determinant of number.
Well, I'm just asking the question because most of the benefits that come out of marriage are legal and financial. And so how do you do that with more than two people?
Well, I believe in no special rights. No special rights for those who choose one man, one woman. No special rights for those who choose same-sex marriage. And no special rights for those who choose UCAP, unrelated consenting adult polygamy. Now, with that said, that means that whatever consenting adults are being authorized to do under contractual arrangements, then freedom dictates everybody gets that freedom under the legitimacy of unrelated consenting adults making their choices. So either you abolish all big government marriage control for unrelated consenting adults, or you create an equality. On the left, I'm sure you believe in what you call marriage equality. Marriage equality means equality for every individual to make a choice. And that's all we're talking about for unrelated consenting adults, is unrelated consenting adults making a choice. And so if you have the arbitrary determinant...
Mark, we're out of time. People will have to be able to read it. Hang on just a second, Mark.
This is the Thom Hartmann Program.
I have truthbearer.org. What's the other website?
NationalPolygamyAdvocates.com.
Thank you very much. Mark Henkel. Good talking with you, Mark.